Hey everyone, this is John, better known as Jesse. I'll get to why that is. At Brew City Audio, and you know I'm from Brew City Audio because I have this business card. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a little video on how I came to be in this business and why I do Cerwin Vega. I was always into electronics and stereo systems and stuff like that ever since I was a little kid. I was always putting speakers together and messing around with stuff like that. Probably 15, 16, I started doing a lot of car stereo systems. Did a lot of big systems with subs and amps and all that kind of stuff. That's just about the time when that kind of stuff was coming out. MTX was a big name back then for relatively cheap stuff or whatever. I did a lot with car stereos. And probably in my mid 20s or something, I started doing a lot more with home stereos. Always loved speakers, just stereos, but mainly speakers. I used to get them, fix them, make them, do all kinds of stuff with that. Tried over the years getting more and more, playing with all the different brands out there, AR, Advent, Paradigm, Monitor Audio, Yamo. And over the years just got more and more into home speakers. So I tried to get, all the ones that people talk about, the L100s and the 901s and, all the bigger popular ones or whatever. And I would refoam them and recone them and pretty much, buy them wherever, fix them up, and usually just listen to them and list them for sale on Craigslist. So over the years, I just had lots and lots of different speakers, subwoofers, kind of played with a little bit of everything. Then probably, maybe about 10 years ago, I came across my first pair of Cerwin Vegas. There were a set of D5s. They needed to be refoamed. I picked them up from some guy and brought them home. Ordered the red foams from whoever had them at the time, and refoamed them. And I figured they would, Cerwin Vega, yeah, I've heard of them. Figured those would probably wind up pretty much like every other speaker. The last 100 I've done, I'd fix them up, listen to them for 10 minutes, and list them for sale on Craigslist. But I refoamed those guys, hooked them up, and cranked them up, and that was literally a jaw hitting the floor moment for me. I just sat down on my concrete floor in front of those speakers and let them pound me in the face for the next 2 hours. And that was it for me. That was the sound I had been looking for and didn't even realize I was missing all those years and all those speakers. I was just hooked. It was just incredible. So I just kind of started getting rid of everything else and just looking for Cerwin Vegas. And at that point, there was quite a bit all over. I sometimes find them at rummage sales or whatever, but buying them online, finding them on Craigslist, or starting to figure out Facebook and stuff like that. And so I was just buying Cerwin Vegas left and right, fixing them up, and just unbelievably impressed by all of them. I started buying a lot of woofers on eBay. Excuse me. Buying those, getting them home, reconing them, refoaming them, reselling them on eBay. Just doing a lot with woofers like that. And but at that point, Cerwin Vega had kind of become the brand I was stuck on, and I just absolutely love them. So that brings us to maybe about 5 or 6 years ago or something. I was reconing a pair of AT-15s. And we all know up to that point, no one had the ribbed cones. Whatever, I didn't know much. What there is what there is, right? So I bought a pair of AT-15 recone kits for these things. And they sent the wrong coils. The AT-15 takes a thicker wound dual lead parallel coil. It's kind of specific to that speaker and a couple others. But they must have ran out of the DLP coils and just sent me the regular 2-layer coil, and I almost didn't notice it because they look pretty close, but I did, and it ticked me off. And they didn't have the ribbed cones. I got sent the wrong coils. I love these speakers, and that's about the time I started to think about making these parts myself. do something wrong once and I'll shrug it off. Do something wrong twice and I'm going to start my own company and beat you at it or something like that. So anyway, that was probably about the same time. Somebody was talking to somebody and they're like, "Well, are you on the Facebook forums?" And I was like, "What's that?" And he's like, "The Facebook forums for Sirwin Vega speakers." And I'm like, "I no." And so I went back. I never did much on Facebook. I had an old account with the name. So a few years prior, I needed a Facebook account to do something, to sell some speakers or buy something or play a video game with somebody or Mafia Wars or something. I don't know. But I needed a Facebook account, and I just, let's see, okay, Jesse Simmons, there's a name. I typed it in there, and so I had that Facebook thing, and I didn't use it much. But then I wanted to find these Sirwin Vega forums on Facebook that somebody was telling me about. So I found the password for the Jesse Simmons, and I go in there and I find all these Sirwin Vega groups. I'm like, oh my goodness. So then I start getting into these groups. And I'm in probably like 8 or 10 different groups now, all Sirwin Vega. And so that's also about the time that I officially started Brew City Audio. I started producing my own parts and having them produced and stuff like that. So kind of all at the same time, I started on Facebook with this Jesse Simmons name, and started to get popular among the people on the Facebook. So pretty much everybody on the planet now knows me as Jesse Simmons. And I don't know how to change that or go back or whatever. Everybody's like, yeah, ask Jesse. So anyway, you can call me Jesse Simmons. My actual name is John Brusky, but I guess I have 2 names now. I have them both on the, I don't know if you can see that or not. Anyway, so you can call me Jesse, you can call me John. I have a Brew City Audio Facebook site, and I have a website. There's not a whole lot on it, but most people contact me through Facebook on my Jesse Simmons thing. That's fine. You can call me Jesse, call me John, whatever. Doesn't matter. But anyway, my story is just that my first Sirwin Vegas, after having 100 different brands and 100 different speakers, just dropped my jaw. They're that good. I was just so impressed by them, and over the years I've gotten more and more and more into Sirwin Vega. That's 99.9% of all I do now is Sirwin Vega, and I'm making parts for Sirwin Vega and trying to come up with the parts that have just not been around for years. The ribbed cones for the ATs, making better coils on aluminum formers like Gene originally spec'd, and all your original Sirwin Vega speakers have coils on aluminum formers, and they're a lot stronger. They dissipate heat, blah, blah, blah. This isn't a sales pitch, but anyway, I'm really trying to, a little at a time as I can afford it, make the parts that we haven't seen for a while, and the parts we all need to get our speakers back working. In fact, where is... I don't know where it is here. You'll recognize this. Those will be coming up real soon. In fact, I just sold 4 on eBay of the prototypes. Anyway, so that's kind of my story as far as how I got into Brew City Audio. I love Sirwin Vegas. There was a need for more parts and some better parts. So I just kind of jumped into it, and now I own Brew City Audio, and that's what I do. I also do commercial maintenance. That's been my main job. I've been self-employed doing that for about 25 years. Started out painting houses and doing rec rooms and bathrooms, and then got into commercial maintenance. And so I jumble those 2 things and go back and forth. The godfather of Sirwin Vega in a lot of the forums for quite a while, Roy Anderson. That guy knows more about Sirwin Vega than any of us all put together. He was there back in the heyday. He's always there to answer questions. You can throw a picture up of something that, there was 3 of in the world, and he's like, oh yeah, well that was this model, and that, that was built on this date, and Gene was talking about this with this guy about that, and blah 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 blah. So thanks, Roy, for all the input you put into and all the help with all the Sirwin Vega stuff. Your knowledge is just unmatched. There's a interesting YouTube channel, Saving Vegas. Preston does a lot of videos on just restoring Sirwin Vegas and taking them apart and checking this and checking that, and he measures a lot of stuff. That's a cool channel to look at. He does a lot of neat stuff. I'm probably forgetting about 500 things that I wanted to say, but I just wanted to give you kind of an idea how Brew City Audio came to be, how I came to be, why I love Cerwin-Vega, and why I've sold pretty much everything else. The Cerwins just absolutely do it for me, and that's why I do Cerwin-Vega. They just unbelievable speakers. The old ones, you get them right, get them hooked up right. There's just really nothing like them. So anyway, that's about it. Shout out to my son Diego. Shout out to my mom. Hi everybody. And that's about it for this video. I hope to do a few more videos on things that require kind of a technical explanation, but try to explain it in a way that isn't so technical. I think I'm going to do one on clipping and why that wrecks tweeters. You can get into with all kinds of things like skin effect and cables and all kinds of stuff. You can get really deep into the physics and the electronics of it all, and I kind of like that stuff. But I realize not everybody really needs to know all that kind of stuff. Most people just need to know the basics, and so I plan on doing a video on clipping, what it is, and just a real basic explanation and what you need to know about it. Anyway, so that'll be coming up someday. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks. This is John and Jesse at Brew City Audio, and keep rocking, Vega heads.